Joining us right now to talk a little bit more about the resale sales data that we just got is William Spriggs. He's AFL-CIO chief economist and Howard University professor of economics. And William, I think the big question is two-part here. With retail sales, we want to know about the strength of the consumer, but then we also want to know about what that strength is doing in terms of inflation. What do you take away on those 2 points based on this data?
So from this data, we always had to worry about these month-to-month changes. What did we think of May? So it's good that in June, we didn't continue the trend of falling retail sales. It is a nice rebound. It's not back to April's level. So I don't think this is an indication to start worrying about inflation because it looks like sales are leveling off. As you heard Steve mention, we still have supply problems in autos. If you look at what was happening to inventory to sales ratios, I mean, they practically collapsed over the last couple of months. So it still looks like we're running into these problems of supply chains. I don't see any inflationary pressure here because, again, we're not back to April retail sales. This is just a good indication that May isn't a harbinger of something really bad happening. We do have to worry. We have all of these governors who have removed support for unemployment insurance, taking almost $1 billion out of the economy. And you have to worry whether people in those states, which are also the states with rising incidence of the disease, are going to see retail sales slow. It's good that we saw the rather flat performance on e-commerce. Of course, we know it spiked high above trend during the pandemic. Then it bounced back down, looking like it's going back closer to trend. For the brick and mortar stores that we really need to come back, it's kind of good news that they seem to be able to hold their own.
You make a good point about how some states are stripping away the additional unemployment benefits, and that's about $1 billion getting stripped out. But we did start to see the child tax credit checks hitting bank accounts this week, and that's going to be more than $1 billion that's put back into the economy over the rest of this year.
It's a very good sign. We are still down when you look at employment for daycare centers. And this is going to be really important as we try to get women back to the labor force, that they're going to have a clear path to being able to pay for childcare. And we can get childcare workers back to work, and we can get childcare centers back open. This is really vital to getting the economy going again.
Do you think that we are going to be able to reach the full labor participation numbers that we were looking at pre-COVID? Because there are a lot of people who, look, obviously right now it's really tough to figure it out when you have daycares that aren't open, when you have schools that aren't open in person. I think we'll have a better idea come September. But I know a lot of people have kind of reassessed their lives and thought things through. And if you have the option of maybe staying home, maybe more people do.
Well, there's going to be continued reticence, and the surge in the virus isn't helping. Ironically, the same states that see the surge are the ones that have low vaccination rates, are the ones that are going after people who get unemployment insurance. And as you mentioned, we have to differentiate between low labor force participation driven by the inability of women to return to the labor force from the issue of the unemployed. These are two different problems. And that gets conflated because a lot of the low-wage workers that were in restaurants, that did leisure and hospitality, general speaking, these services, are women, not who are getting unemployment checks, but who simply aren't in the labor force. That is going to be an iffy thing going into the fall. We have the expiration of the expanded unemployment benefits in September. At the same time, we have this surge in the disease. These are two forces that are really dark clouds on the economy.
Shepard Smith here. Thanks for watching CNBC on YouTube.